Again, if you like these videos, please like, share, and subscribe. Even if they just help one person, I'm happy with that. Thank you. Hello, internet friends. Officer Dan back with another tire test. Hopefully, there's a lot of other stuff going on the track right now that I didn't think was going to be happening, but hey, I'll try to make it happen. So I have two different tires up. I was going to be testing the ATR Sport 1s versus the ATR Sport 2s, but the place that shipped my tires shipped me the wrong size. So that test is out and this test is in. Here we have the Federal 595SS Super Steel. I ran most of my Pro-Am in 2011 and 2012 on Federals, so they do have a soft spot in my heart. And in this corner we have the Otani KC200. I don't think they mean Kansas City, but whatever. It's the KC200. Completely different tread patterns. I have no idea if that's going to mean anything. I do know that I did like the Federals when I used them. I have never used the KC2000s. The Federals are a 240 tread wear. The Otanis are a 320 tread wear. So there's a pretty big difference there between the two. We'll see how they handle the heat today in this tire test. The Otanis are coming in right at 8 inches even. The Federals are just under 8 inches even. So a little bit more tread on the Otanis. Interesting. Now, height-wise, these are coming in at 25 1/4, and the Otanis are coming in at 25 3/4. So the Otanis are definitely a taller tire as well. I tally up all the requests I get online, and I've gotten a ton, I think 25, for the 595SS. So I'm excited to see how they do on our cheese grater of track. Again, as a reminder, we run these on the stock 350Z wheels. It's heavy and it works. So all the tests are done on that, and they're all 225 40/18s put down to 25 pounds per square inch. Then I run the track both ways for even tire wear as many times as I can before they start to chunk and or cord. The moment that they chunk or cord, I stop drifting, and that is the test. So far, the Kendas are still the remaining champion by far. They did come out with a new compound though, so I'm trying to get my hands on a set of those to test as well. All right, so I'm gonna try the Federals first, since they're my old favorite.
Aren't you gonna get this one out or wait?
got finished testing the Federal 595 SS and it did absolutely phenomenally. I almost ran out of gas while testing, so I'm glad they chunked when they did. I know I got a really good amount of laps out of them, and I had a cool down guy there to help me, but I still did the cool down laps anyway, just for the tires' sake. Initial feel from the Federals, they felt just as good as they did when I ran them in Pro-Am, which is absolutely fantastic. After they got some heat in them and the PSI went up just a little bit, they were absolutely perfect. They made more smoke than any of the tires that I've tested in a long time, so kudos to Federal for making a nice smoky compound that can handle heat well. I'll calculate the laps up and show them here. Feel was super consistent. Once they lost that initial really grippiness, they were very consistent all the way until the point where this tire delaminated. Had I let these things cool down a bit more, got in line, waited for the next run, etc., etc., I would have gotten a lot more laps out of them. It chunked still with this much tire left. So these things made smoke all the way up until the very, very, very end when this tire kind of shrapneled. This one, as you can see, still has enough tread to have indentations here, which is insane. So very, 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 very pumped on these. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to the Ohatsus today, so I may just leave my truck and trailer here and come out tomorrow and test those because I got a drift event to run. Who knew? Final thoughts on the Federal. Excellent Pro-Am tire. If you want to run Pro-Am, these are smoky and they have consistent grip all the way through the tread. Get these for Pro-Am. Thank you, Federal, for continuing to make a kick-ass tire. So I didn't get to do the KC2000s at the drift event. It is now Sunday, it's Easter, I'm out here shredding tires, it's a good time. Just drop these things down to 25 PSI and we're gonna see what they do. I already packed up my jack, so I can't take the tires off because I'm an idiot. So I'm just going to explain how I feel about these tires right now. Okay, just finished the tire test with the Otani KC2000s. They did decently well. They weren't the best tire that I've driven on, but they by far weren't the worst. Speaking of, I got a piece of it right here. I think I got a decent amount of laps out of them, but I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and look at the footage and calculate it, put it right here. The tires made a decent amount of smoke all the way through the run, so that's awesome. They weren't as grippy as the Federals or some of the other tires that I've tested, but they, again, by far weren't the slipperiest. Towards the end of the runs, they did start to get a little bit buttery. The Federals didn't, which isn't too much of a big deal because at that point you should have changed these tires anyway. I'm gonna have to Google how much I paid for these because I can't remember offhand, but it was definitely less than 60 bucks a tire. All in all, I'd say this was a decent tire to use. My final thoughts are not exactly a Pro-Am tire because it just didn't have the grip. They wore decently even and they did make a lot of smoke, so for a fun tire, I definitely recommend getting a set of KC2000s. This is Officer Dan with another edition of the Cheap Drift Tire Tests. I'll catch you next time. Peace. Maybe.